Daddy Mac. Dan's 30 years got our way, trading life and markets every day. Rusty's chained to the mines, digging deep day by day. But when Option Omega releases new features, he's free to come out and play. Option Omega, you're trading home, where every move makes you feel less alone.
Good morning, Dan.
Good morning, Troy. Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday to you guys. I've got my research assistant here as always, just ready to take our notes and synthesize them.
He's doing something right, Troy. He's doing something right.
I think he's the only one in this house that's figured things out, to be honest.
Now, does he real quick what's the dog's name again?
Rex.
Now, does Rex, what kind of schedule, like in the morning? I'm sorry, Rex. I didn't.
I didn't. Once we use his name, he's interested now.
Is Rex an early bird or a late night owl?
He kind of gets up with the family.
Okay.
So yeah, I also think he sleeps like 21 hours a day. So I don't know really what he.
So he'll check out what's going on and then go back to bed.
Yeah, he'll when it's warm, we keep him outside. He likes sleeping outside at night when it's warm, but
that's neat. He likes camping.
Yeah, he loves camping. He's got his little beds out there, and he's we've got a couple acres for him to just thought run around, but really he just sits in one spot all day. And
does he mess with? Does he chase squirrels and keep active?
Well, he got skunked. He got skunked last week. Yeah,
that's right.
And so he'll get active. He'll kill some animals every once in a while. He's a bit of
so he's still feisty at times.
Yeah, he gets a little feisty during the summer months when those possums and everything are out all hours of the night. He'll get after it a little bit.
Also, he has late nights when there's action.
Oh yeah, he can be a bit of a night owl sometimes. Not gonna lie. So
he's like hibernating now with the winter, kind of a little bit of hibernation.
That's exactly right. We all are. So I just realized my kids have a bad habit of taking the collar off, and then I have to look for it. So anyway, Dan, futures up 28.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like, again, yesterday I talked to a couple people, got a little concerned when SPX looked like it could blast through 6,800, and then again for the whole year, it's kept this, basically a little bit under 6,800 in the SPX, but 6,800 to about 7,000. And it kept it yesterday. And it's just still, you hate to say, it's like Rex is enjoying the winter and the hibernation. It's like, enjoy, we have a tendency, and that's right. It's where you have charts. Charts are like, okay, we have this picture. So based on that picture, here's what we think is going to happen. And that's great. But there's also, you hear the expression, you hear this in the NBA a lot, I'm living in the moment. I'm not sure what that, I'm living in the moment. And I do think there's a part of that with the market, just, it is what it is. We've been in this range all year, right? And we've had a little bit, and trade accordingly, just trade until, sometimes we miss opportunities as traders because we're not, oh boy, this is the big one. No, that's the big one. Well, two before that's the big one. And I think instead of looking at, what's available for us today, and we've got, as you guys say, I love the OO expressions, the sticky, who came up with the sticky vol? Was that you or Matt? Or
no, that's probably Matt or.
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh, did I lose you? Okay. Are you there?
No, I think I'm there. Yeah, 1 second. I tell you what, I don't believe in conspiracies, but I'll say this: someone's after us.
So I like that. But the sticky vol, and I mean, you think about it today, we're up 20, so we're coming off the bottom of the range a little bit, moving our way up. yesterday after we got beat up a little bit, but VIX is still around 20. So it's got to be how have the like the DCs in the beginning challenge. I like that one. The one I really like is maybe if you talked a second about the DC that's kind of ratioed in your thing. That seems very interesting to me. In your beginner challenge on Tuesdays,
Yeah.
don't you have like a?
Yeah.
I liked it. I don't know if you had time to.
Yeah, we'll do it. Let me look it up real quick. And,
Yeah, I never thought, but it makes sense, and I liked. I think I heard you when you went over some of the parameters. I like it because it triggers. It is like contrarian a little bit.
Oh yeah, yeah, it is.
I like.
So yeah, let's talk about this one.
Yeah,
it's an interesting trade, and I've been doing it in SPX a little bit, and I like it, Dan. And it's counter to my nature because, I mean, I'll give you let me just Dan, you're my therapist today. Can I just lay on the couch here for a second?
Yes.
All right. Let me just lay on the couch here for a second.
I'm getting older. I'm getting jealous as you lay on the couch.
I know. Dan, I have a bad habit where days like last week where vol expands, I do really well. And I never take enough off to get delta neutral or vega neutral. I always keep a little bit too much on. So yesterday, when we were in a 30-point range all day, besides that little dip at the beginning, I'm just bleeding all day. I'm just bleeding vega all day. And doctor, what do I do with this?
Well, let me ask you real quick. Like when we were down near the lows, didn't VIX get around 22? Am I wrong or right on that?
Well, VIX really never had a shot yesterday because it opened up because of that gap down.
Oh yeah, it opened up around 22, Troy, or no?
I think so. And you have to expand that move, to keep that VIX up.
That's right.
And so it just never happened.
So did you have a position where you could let some out at that point, or?
Yeah, I closed some. I closed basically the ones that were going to expire worthless for a little bit of premium left. But I kept stuff on that and this is okay. This is part of it. This is part of the experience of it, is that, if you have, for instance, things that are nuclear well plays, you can't just close them every time VIX goes to 20.
No. And that's what I was thinking you're saying. I don't know how, if you necessarily.
There's not much you can do, but what I'll say is this test is actually a type of strategy I think I can use to mitigate some of that.
Oh yeah. I like when you want to go.
Yeah, let's do it.
For those who haven't, why don't you walk through?
So basically this test is a ratioed 1-2 double calendar.
Yeah.
And let me just look at it real quick and talk through it. The VIX 9-day to VIX 1 has to be a minimum of 1. So Dan, why would that be important from a vol trade? If you're going to ratio calls to puts, why would it be important for the short-term vol to be as elevated as the long-term vol?
Because if your short-term vol is elevated, you're getting your movement, right? I mean, number one, you're getting some movement, and in the DC, you're selling the shorts, right?
Yeah.
Right?
That's exactly right.
I'm always nervous when I'm asked questions early.
I know. I put you on the spot.
I'm like, but I think that's it, right? That you're selling the higher, and you're getting this because you're buying two contracts on the call side. What I think is so neat about this strategy is, you think about some of the principles I learned, just because Matt's not here. I don't know if Tom's listening, but when I was in the pits, you learn the principle: long vega, long delta, short vega, short delta. And this is going along with that, right? It's saying, hey, if you're going to you want to do this when the vols a little bit elevated, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Which is against, would you say it's true, Troy, in most of the DCs that you guys will do, double calendars, you're looking on a day where the VIX is down, right?
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is
And
here you're looking, hey, no, I want to do contrarian. The VIX is pumped, right? And then I'm going to,
I'm always thankful. I'm always thankful when it works according to what I wanted it to do.
oh yeah,
And so
the
far,
thesis.
yeah, so far it's worked out well. Now it's a small data set, real life, but it opens basically on days like last week when, or yesterday in some ways, where vol is elevated, and vol's elevated because we kind of have already had a down move.
Yes.
And so what happens in the market when we have a down move? Well, if it's a serious down move, we'll have continuation.
Yeah.
But most times
True.
we bounce,
Yeah.
and so I'm running it here. Yeah. So ran it with more money in the account. And so the idea of saying, listen, we're going to open something up when it doesn't make a lot of sense from a sphere's perspective to open it up. Let's put
Yeah.
it that way. That
Yeah.
we're going to buy 2 calls to 1 put, and we're going to let it ride. And that's kind of, the exit is you just get out at the day of expiration.
Yeah.
And so, the reason I like this trade a lot is it still keeps that structure of vol. Like if Vega, you can still make money on the up move because Vega, a lot of times, Vega might get crushed, but if it's like an environment, for instance, like the Iran stuff is an environment, right? So you might have a down day, but then you might go back up. But until that's actually resolved, vol's not going to 15.
That's right. And the way they, the way they release the volatility.
Right.
And just the way they release the volatility.
Release the Kraken. It's the Kraken, it's
the short of which even though, okay, you don't like vol coming down, the way they may release it that first day is it might not be so bad because they may take a little more out of the short, possibly, than the long. And you're probably maybe leaning, would you say leaning maybe 7 or 8 deltas long per contract? Does that seem right? Or am I off on that a bit?
Let's look at it. I mean, you're about 11 deltas
11.
long starting out.
But it makes sense when you get that turn, you'd want to be about 10 or 11, right? Because the vol could.
Yeah, that's right. Vol could go down. So you actually do need to be pretty heavy delta to account for that. And so, I like the trade. So far, so good. I'm sure we might lose one, but, a short-term trade, a 1-2 trade, 1-2 DTE trade, you're being smart. You're picking your spots. You're not overextended. Get out.
Can I give a real life example of this?
Please.
And I don't know if we're allowed to. I haven't checked the show rules if we're able to mention the pit twice in one morning. But I'm going to throw this out there. Ask Tom. Tom Lee will be the referee on that one.
I would prefer. My handbook is at least 3 references a show.
3 references a show.
Yeah.
But here's what's interesting about the strat. I'm just the mind's going here. But the bigger one in the pits, very similar strategy. Now I'm gonna because here's the principle here. The principle is, okay, the market's down, it's starting to go up, right? So when the market was down, the vol's up, kind of a contrarian. We're going to lean into the pain. That's how I would say it. Lean. There's an expression in the pits, lean into the pain. And let me give a real life example, which is very similar to this strategy. Very similar. So in the pit, we would end up in the stocks in big ratio back spreads because there are more sellers of options than buyers. So, people know what a ratio back spread looks like, right? It's just kind of, you can make money either way, but in the middle you get creamed. Yeah. Well, so we would be long out of the money calls, but our hedge was short stock. So with the out of the money calls, once we started going up, they would crush the volatility of the long calls. And even though you were delta neutral, but you start getting more long deltas as we go up, you'd still lose money because they'd hit the volatility. So you had to lean long. So what people did, and this is a normal procedure, let's say you had 100 calls and you were short 5,000 and you were short 5,000 shares of stock or something like that. If these calls were like out of the money, maybe a 30 delta or something, they were trading real cheap, they would take, every morning we'd have this discussion, take out half of the calls. What they're saying is take out half of the calls out of your position. So you're not leaning that, you're not going to put them back in till maybe those calls are a 50, 60 delta, right? You're basically putting them away in the cupboard, right? Waiting till it goes up. So you're leaning, so net, you're leaning long. Picture if you're long 100 calls, short 5,000 shares of stock, you take those 100 calls, because they're only, in a cheap stock, maybe they're trading half a dollar or whatever, but it could be the same principle here. They take them out, right? As the stock is going up. So it's forcing you to stay up. You're leaning pretty long. And then once they kind of get in the money or go up, you put them back in. Now, obviously there's pros and cons to that, but it's the point that people are saying, which is similar to this. If you're not leaning long when we turn and go up with the crunch and volatility, you're not going to make anything, right? If you were neutral, if you did this and you were neutral as we're going up, you're not really making any. It's a typical DC, right? You're getting crushed. So I can just tell you from observing this and doing this in the pit, which seems to me in the same ballpark, that this would work real well. And my thought, and you can test it, right? And you've tested this for this, so it works pretty well. But then I almost thought, have you ever done? I mean, what I like about this is it's positive theta, right? Because I'm thinking, have you ever done a ratio Rick? Similar instead of.
I haven't, but I'm sure there's someone who has.
I bet in your community there's been people.
Someone has.
Yeah, this is now. What has been your experience with this in the class? Like the last 3 of these or something? How have these?
I haven't done analysis yet on what's the best, what's the worst so far. That's coming Tuesday, but it's one of the best. I mean, it's worked well so far. I mean, for a small account, obviously. And
when you get a, think about it. We've had this choppy market continue, and you're basically waiting for, is it fair to say, when you get a down move towards the lower end of the range is when it will probably trigger.
Yeah. No, again, you think about VIX 9-day to VIX, basically what you're trying to play for a little bit is a little sniff of backwardation. That's kind of what you're aiming for a little bit.
Well, and that's the beauty of the backtest, and that hey, you don't have to watch. I mean, can you imagine watching something like that in this thing?
Oh my gosh.
I can't even imagine.
Well, we did for the first couple of years pre-automation. So, it's helpful to automate it. Detective Troy, when you were on the Daytona track, did you go into the pit? I did.
That's a great one.
That's where we started. And I felt like a market maker for just a couple seconds. I was like, this must be what it feels like to be in the pit, And
Troy,
so
can you describe when I picture the pit, all right, it's where they do their business. Is there any, this isn't like an outdoor, in the backyard, somebody has an outdoor kitchen and these type of things, like maybe Rob and Marie in their backyard. In the pit, is there any stuff? What do they eat and drink in the, what, is it just an open space? Is there?
I think the way at least we had it, it's just a separate road that goes inward towards the track. There's not much to it, to be honest. Because they have to build it out for those races where, they've got sandbags all over the place and they've got a wall and stuff like that. I was actually looking last night because Daytona 500 was this past weekend at Pit Fells. If you're ever interested, it's a dangerous place. Those cars are coming in hot. Now,
Mm.
mine's not. I mean, we were at, there are 2 cars on the track, 3 cars on the track, but when you've got an actual race going on, they are people have gotten hit before, like the crew has gotten
Wow.
hit by cars. Like it's people are losing, they got like hacksaws that they're working on the car with that get forgot about, and so they're attached to the cars. They drive off. Like
Oh my goodness.
these
Okay.
things these things happen all the time. So yeah, it's interesting. You should look it up. There's a lot of pitfalls. So
When you were
and
there, did you see any of the cars that actually raced? Were they parked there or no, you didn't see any of those or?
no, this is where my knowledge of NASCAR is pretty limited. Racing in general is pretty limited. But my understanding is they've got a new car every race.
Oh my goodness.
I think they rebuild their car every race. I mean, chat, if you guys know anything about racing, but I'm pretty sure they have because they've got wear and tear on those cars are getting destroyed during those races. Not
Mm.
even wrecks, just the wear and tear. So you think about they're like rebuilding the engine all the time. They're rebuilding brakes. They're rebuilding, and so you'll hear these people that say like certain races they had, uh, you know, apparently I went back and watched the one where Dale Earnhardt died,
Yeah.
and Dale Earnhardt was blocking for Sterling Martin, and the announcers pre-crash that killed Dale Earnhardt. They're talking about Dale Earnhardt knows Sterling Martin has a fast car today. And so it's this idea that in any given day, your car might just have a little bit more juice. It might just be performing really well. And
Mm.
that's the kind of magic of racing too, is it's not like, they're working within the rule set, but sometimes like there's a car that's just flying.
So it's not
And
like in a sport where this guy's
it's
better than this guy.
yeah, it's not like, oh, Troy's taking his F-150 to this race, and then next week Troy's taking his F-150 to this race. My understanding is that like Troy races F-150s, but on any given Sunday, it's a new F-150.
Okay.
That's the
Gotcha.
way I look at it. So,
Yeah.
but everything I just said very well could be completely wrong,
That's
and I want
okay.
to preface that with I want to preface that. So, Dan, listen, I, I've got. I was telling people the other day, it's a weird week with meetings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Chat, what time of day is your favorite meeting? Put it in the chat. This is some good content. Daddy's going to bring you some fun content this morning. What is your favorite time for a meeting during the day? A work meeting, not your favorite meeting, like your favorite time of day for a work meeting. I'm going to give the chat a couple of seconds. Dan, when you have meetings, are you a morning meeting guy or an afternoon meeting guy?
To me, sometimes I like, especially as you get older and your energy isn't always, I like the early morning breakfast. You get it going, you get a little more energy and it's done with, right? I kind of like that as you get older because you go to bed earlier. But
You get that?
for most people, I would think it might be lunch or after work.
Joseph says 11.
Oh yeah, 11.
I
Yeah, that makes sense.
my favorite thing, I like to get things done in the morning. So meetings to me, by their very nature, are not getting things done.
Hmm.
So I like to I like
That's a great comment. That's a
yeah,
great comment right
yeah,
there.
meetings do not feel like getting things done to me. So I like to work in the morning, and then I like to do a lunch meeting after lunch, because that 12 to 1 is my peak sleepiness.
Hmm.
And so do the thing that I don't think means much after lunch. Yeah, well, this is what Steven's. Exactly. Afternoon meetings are brutal because you're just so tired. But in my mind, the type of meetings I've always been a part of, I I usually have not had to say too much. Now, if you have a lot of responsibility in the meeting,
It's different.
it,
Yeah.
it's hard. But like if I'm just in a meeting and I'm just in the meeting, I have zero responsibility for making decisions in the meeting. Um, I love right after lunch because I can truly just zone out completely. That's my dream.
So
My dream.
you only have to be there in person. You don't have
Yeah,
to.
my dream is to just be in an empty state of a body where my mind and soul are just completely
Let me
detached.
ask you: have they done more? You think in the context of meetings? would they be more productive if you like do them in a park, do them outside, do them
I
by a
think
creek, get a
absolutely. Yeah. I think the idea of saying, um, like introducing fear into it, like saying like, hey, we need to meet in the elevator like right now.
wow in the
Like let's
elevator.
yeah. And like do things like that, constantly switch it up where it's like we got 30 seconds to like communicate some stuff because
Yeah.
there's some stuff going down today. Like that type of like keeping like the pace up a little bit.
Troy, I got a
Yeah.
concept for you. All right.
Yeah.
To solve all meetings, put everybody on equal ground. What about a meeting in? So this is Troy's new resolution for the year. When you have a meeting, just say, meet me in the sauna. What do you think? A
It's
sauna meeting.
Dan, it's my goal. It's my goal by the end of the year to do 90% of my meetings in the sauna, like 100%.
I mean, it breaks down all beer. It breaks down, if someone's trying to act tough or whatever, you're in a sauna. I mean, come on.
Now, that's exactly right. Now, detective's on it this morning. I worked in the ID department. I'm not going to tell you yet. I worked in the IT department, one of the major airlines in part of the country, and we supported aircraft maintenance, which was in aircraft hangars. My favorite meeting was a Friday afternoon meeting called Meeting in MX, which was code for I'm leaving early today. I love that.
That is a great one.
See, that's the next level stuff that I appreciate.
Yeah.
We had when I went to high school as most kids, and I when I was a freshman, a lot of my friends were seniors because I was really cool, and you guys wouldn't see that coming, but I was a
Hey.
really cool kid, and all my friends were seniors, so they had early dismissal, and then someone a mutual friend who took pictures of us one time.
Wow. Yes.
He had early dismissal. So I said, will you take me with you? He said, sure. And so, but there was a security guard. So I would get in the trunk of the parking lot and then we'd just ride out. And then he thought it was fun to keep popping the trunk while we were on the interstate or Kingston Pike.
Oh my.
The 90s were a heck of a time. The last time kids could be kids.
Yes. Sense of humor. Yeah. See, that's a sense of you'd say that's a good high school sense of humor, popping the hood of the trunk. But you get someone 40 years older, it's dangerous as can be.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No. Well, not to mention the whole idea of like, you don't hear this much anymore. Maybe they fixed it, but chat, you can also put this out there. Dan, I feel like as a child, almost everything I heard on the news when I was a child in the 90s was a kid was killed because he played in the trunk and they found him. He ran out of oxygen. Like, I don't know if they in the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, they made cars that just was completely airtight and they don't do that anymore.
I'm fortunate the group that I hung out with, we didn't do the trunk stuff. Well, we were not the 80s and 90s. We were more the 70s or something. They would have done, see, that's the thing. I'm thankful because my group would have done that or whatever.
Yeah.
But unfortunately it wasn't.
Well, any really memorable group, at least one kid dies. That's the way I look at it. Just doing something stupid.
Or he had I'm thinking when we were in high school, I'm not mechanical at all, but some of the guys I hung out with, big gearheads. And so in the city, right, which is a very congested area, and you had alleys, right? They have quite a few alleys in Knoxville, right?
We got alleys. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So alleys. And so you'd have a lot of trucks going up in the alley as well. Mini bikes were a big deal. Homemade, mini bikes, which are very low off the ground, right? And these guys could get those things going fast and you'd go ripping down the alley. Well, the problem is when you get to the end of the alley, now you got a street going this way. And I couldn't tell you how many times you'd have wipeouts and you have a truck. I mean, these little mini bikes, and it was just like, it's amazing to me that there were injuries, but that nobody passed, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because and that's the thing when you just wonder the fear thing, like when you see Alex Hanold, right? The guy who does the free solo, they did some tests on his brain and it's like the fear part of the brain just it's not, he doesn't get too worked up about climbing without a rope up a mountain. But it's just
I
like you wonder at 18 or 17, the guys that hang with, even though they'd see something, it's like that part of the brain is like, we should have, hey,
yeah.
this probably isn't the smartest thing to do to ride a mini bike 40 miles an hour down an alley.
I mean, who would have thought it?
Yeah.
Dan, I mean, one of my favorite things, Matt likes to go back and watch these videos when he's out, and he likes to see things. And I'm gonna go ahead and put this up there, and I'm that way Matt can look at this and be like, what is he talking? What are they talking about? And I'm gonna try to take out the first half of the video and try to make it really jumbled to where when Matt gets the transcript of this video, he's like, did they lose their minds? Did they literally just go crazy this morning? That's my goal for today, chat. So listen, I gotta run, but I've got a big announcement. Romeo, shout out Romeo. Romeo messaged me last night. He said, listen, the kids are asking about AI and the kids are asking about trade blocks. Could we do a cigar lounge? And I said, you had me at Cigar.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So at 2 p.m. Central today, 3 p.m. Eastern, we are going to do a cigar lounge. And I can't promise I'm going to be there, but we're going to get it set up. We're going to do a cigar lounge at 3 p.m. Eastern for anybody who wants to join. We'll put it in there. Just get in the Discord, ask around. We'll get you the information. But Romeo's going to do a question and answer on trade blocks. For those who don't know, trade blocks is an open source tool that you can take Option Omega tests and kind of go deep on analysis, and it'll show you some stuff in there that's pretty mind-blowing about risk in different ways. So,
and you use that to help you a little bit, didn't you? With the
Romeo killed it with the small account portfolio. We placed it through that, and he's moving fast, putting a lot of cool stuff in. So I'm excited for people to see that. So shout out Romeo for that. Jump in the Discord. We'll get that in there, 3 p.m. Eastern.
3 Eastern.
Yeah. Dan, I got to go to the next 4 hours of just meetings. It's just meeting day. I'm getting all the meetings in my life knocked out to where I can just say no more meetings the rest of my life. That's what I'm doing. So blessings to you, Dan.
Can you change like your outfit every meeting to keep things?
I change my outfit every meeting, but one thing that remains consistent, I will not take a shower until I'm done with all these meetings, and I'm hoping that kind of helps the process end. It's like eventually people will be like, I can't do this anymore. But that's fine. That's fine. So
like strategy.
Dan and Matt will be on at 11. Options for beginners. Dan, what are we looking at for today?
I think we're kind of tail ending of the discussion of the wheel this week. And then might bring in kind of the Greeks of some of the wheel strategies. Again, the wheel strategies, the conventional wheel deals with buy right and a cash secured put. So we've been focusing on, are there other ways to skin the cat, make it cheaper and a better yield? And so I think today we'll go over a few more examples, but deal with the Greeks of some of these strategies specifically. It'd be of cash secured put alternatives, which would be credit spreads, and long diagonals, poor man covered rights, which would substitute for covered rights. So dealing with the Greeks, because a lot of people sometimes don't always look. It's easier, like some people, I think, wouldn't you say, Trey, some people, it's easier not to look at the Greeks, right? Some people would just, hey, I'm a guy that doesn't look at the Greeks. Well, can certain pilots fly without their instrument panel? I don't know anything about pilot, but it'd be I think it'd be smarter. Most pilots would say, yeah, incorporate the instrument panel in your flying. And I think your instrument panel for a trader is the Greeks. And I think it would be more helpful to use the Greeks. It could be a help to you as you trade. And it can be a little, and the other thing is it can be a little funky when you're looking at 0-1 day versus 15-20 day, but it's good to, know that, what Greeks are important for 0-day trades and what Greeks aren't. When you start getting to 20, 30 days out, volatility is a much more important animal than it is 0 day. 0 day. Not that it doesn't have a role, but
Yeah.
it is different Greeks, and that's exciting to look at that different discussion. So, anyways, it's a long-winded.
I'm excited for it. But
All right,
listen,
all right,
guys,
good luck
lots
at
of going
that.
on. See you at 11. See you at 3. Have a